Hello everybody and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts 3 playthrough. So, we've done basically all that we can do, and so it is time for us to head on over to a brand new world. And I think that this is easily one of the most divisive worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3. I think it's a difficult one because part of me sees the same flaws that everybody else does with Arendelle, and don't think I don't see them. I have my own problems with it, but then I also look at what some of the complaints are that people have of Arendelle, which is where we're going, and I just don't necessarily entirely agree with them. And it's an odd one because I find it difficult to tell how much exactly of the opinions relating to Arendelle are focused on the I suppose the general reaction of people within the gaming community to Frozen as a film. Because obviously Frozen was ridiculously popular, and the general consensus is that it's a great film and everybody loves it and everybody loves the music and so on and so forth. It was maybe perhaps a little overplayed and people got a little bit fed up, but in general the Frozen brand is one of the strongest that Disney has right now, and that definitely might have negatively impacted on the creative freedom that Nomura and the team had with this world. There's certain elements of it that don't necessarily work as you would perhaps expect them to, or things don't happen as you'd expect them to. But obviously there is also a large contingent of people who really hate Frozen. Some of them because they think it just doesn't deserve its popularity that it received. Others because they just don't like it, and that's fair enough. But in the gaming community, that contingent is probably slightly larger than elsewhere in the world, and I find it difficult to tell how much of that is sort of impacting how people are perceiving Arendelle. Because if I'm being sort of perfectly honest here, I look at sort of the spread of the world in Kingdom Hearts 3, and
Donald, give me a coat.
100 Acre Wood's easily the weakest, without a shadow of a doubt.
Guess he's too used to the beach. Hey, I
In
wonder.
terms of story, Caribbean's the weakest.
Look, even the seas.
And then I'm not sure what I would say is the weakest in terms of gameplay.
Donald,
But
this isn't your magic, is it?
I wouldn't say that it's the worst world of the bunch, and
Do you think it's the
I'm just very confused by the whole reaction to Arendelle, but we'll go into it more later. Right now, everything's freezing over.
Wow. That girl, she looked so sad.
Well, yeah, that's probably why she was running, but there we go. But yes, here we are in Arendelle. Which, I have to say, I love the music here. It's not,
I wonder what happened.
I suppose,
Maybe the Heartless?
We should talk.
Part of me really wanted the music that a person called Blue Nocturne did, which took like Let It Go and First Time in Forever and You Wanna Build a Snowman, turn them into sort of like the battle and field themes, because I think music, that's always just really interesting and I really like that. However, that said, I do think that the field theme of Arendelle is just, it's great, it's bright, it's just sort of effortlessly delightful. And I really did just have a massive grin on my face while playing through Arendelle. I think the biggest problem for me with Arendelle is that it's very much going to be a case of us going up the mountain, going down the mountain, going up the mountain, going down the mountain. Repeat. And that's not the most interesting of ways of going about it. I mean, it's one of my biggest criticisms of Bayonetta 2 is that you sort of get partway up the mountain, you throw them back down the mountain, back up the mountain, down the mountain, and you just sort of get a bit fed up at that point. So yes, I'm not the biggest fan of that. I do wish that we had actually got to visit the actual kingdom of Arendelle. I think that would have been quite fun to visit. But then equally, if you look at the plot of Frozen and sort of where things happen and what you could feasibly have Sora, Donald and Goofy join in on, pretty much all of the action of interest takes place on the mountain. And on the lake outside the kingdom, not actually a whole lot takes place inside the kingdom. So, and also you've got the fact of, we've already had Kingdom of Corona, which has that sort of town, kingdom centre. You've got Twilight Town, so really another town. And considering what we're going to have after Arendelle, because we've got Caribbean and San Francisco, which you've got a town and you've got a city, there would have just been far too many towns. So in terms of creating some diversity in the world, you kind of have to have that little bit of something different, and spending the entire level on the mountain makes sense. I mean, there's a bit that's not on the mountain, so to speak, but we'll get to that bit in the next part. I think one of the things that a lot of people... well, there's been a lot of discussion about the level of interference that there perhaps was from Disney on Frozen. And Nomura's definitely gone on record as saying that Frozen was the one where there was the most sort of rules and the most input on things. And you can sort of understand how that came about, because from what I can tell, Disney showed off to the Kingdom Hearts team. They showed Frozen before it was actually ever released, so obviously this would have been back like 2012. And it was, when they watched it, they saw that they had something special there, but I don't think even Disney realised exactly how big Frozen would go on to become. So it was at that point that Nomura and his team decided that they wanted to put Frozen in the game. I mean, the fact that then, following its release, it became such a huge runaway success kind of really made it a dead cert, and I think I would have been very disappointed in them, in the team, had they not included it. Purely because, like, seriously, it's one of, if not the biggest Disney franchise to come out in the last decade. And say what you will about the quality of the film as a whole, you cannot deny the impact that it has had. So it makes sense that it was here. It makes sense that the team sort of wanted to get involved in that. Obviously, deciding to put the film in the game makes sense, and they may have had ideas of what to do. But then obviously the film was a ridiculous success, and so then Disney, you've got to think about how they're merchandising these things. So they don't necessarily, or I suppose at this point, maybe didn't want like Anna and Elsa fighting enemies because it didn't sort of work out. It just sort of didn't feel right to them, even though when Frozen 2 comes out it looks like that's sort of exactly where they're going with it. But it might just be that they want to do those sorts of things on their terms, not here. At least with Tangled, sort of there is already precedent of Rapunzel getting involved in a bit of action, and you also have Tangled the series where she definitely gets involved in some action. Whereas in Frozen, there's not really any of that. So while there's sort of like really fun ideas that you could go with for having them as partners, it's not necessarily there, and you can see why Disney would feel uncomfortable with it. So I think it's one of those things where perhaps Disney should have been a little more loose with their control over Frozen, to let Lemire and his team do what sort of they wanted to do. But then equally, like, what do you expect Disney to do? It's Disney. Like, all the creators are alive for Frozen, and just generally, why would you expect them to do anything else?
Oh, Sora can run up this.
Well, yes, he can, because he can run up walls now, which is still a little bit weird, but there we go. So there's all sort of that stuff. And there was a very interesting theory, which I'll go into sort of in the next part when it actually becomes a little bit more relevant, of something that people think. And I don't know whether I was supposed to do that, but hey, I got a treasure chest out of it, so I'll take it. And thankfully, I think there is a quick way back up to the top. And also lucky emblem, so I will definitely take this whilst I'm down here. But I will go on the record and say that I do actually quite like Arendelle. It's not perfect. None of the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3 are perfect, really, but I would still say that I do quite like it, and also I love the fact that they did manage to get all of the original voice cast back to voice these characters. So the amazing, the wickedly talented, wonderful Idina Menzel is back as Elsa, and yay!
Hi, I'm Sora, and I'm from, let's just say, someplace a little warmer.
And I'm Goofy.
Are you visiting Arendelle for the coronation?
Huh? You got us. So, what's your name?
Elsa. Queen Elsa of Arendelle.
What? The Queen?
You shouldn't be out here. Please go back to the village.
Why? Your Majesty, you look like you could use a friend. Don't you want to talk?
Please leave. I need to be alone. I don't want to hurt anyone.
Oh. Is it that bad? You must have been through a lot.
We know what that's like, don't we?
Sure, adventuring's fun, but it definitely has its ups and downs. When the going gets tough, us friends have to stick together.
Exactly. Although, Donald, you do lose your temper a lot, so I can relate to wanting some alone time.
What? I don't do that.
Enough!
Whoa!
Elsa, did you?
The Heartless!
Don't worry, we got him. Take cover.
So, yeah, that Rock Tyson decided he wanted to turn up and join the fight. But I have to say, I do like that we have these things called winter horns. And, rock trolls, that's what this one is. But yeah, the winter horns are the, like, snowy reindeer enemies. I just quite like the design. Very in keeping with the world. But also very, very cute, but very elegant. And I always appreciate those sorts of designs. Although I don't think that... Well, I mean, Magic Carousel's doing pretty decent stuff here. So, I mean, I'll definitely take it. It's not going to get me anywhere near the record score, but... Hey, I will take what I can get. And at least we're basically just down... Well, we're just down to the rock troll now, so... that makes this a lot simpler, apart from the fact that he's still kind of beating my ass. I think I did notice a little bit of an uptick in the difficulty of the enemies in this world. So I think that it's probably a point where you do want to try and... well, not necessarily hugely grind, but grind a little bit. Because there are some enemies that do hit quite hard here. There are also some really fun fights, so there's definitely a lot to look forward to in Arendelle. Even if you don't think there necessarily is. But there we go! That's defeated, and we can just see how else is doing and just hope that we can sort of make things better.
Elsa, are you okay?
I'm sorry I was so upset. Thank you for your help. Look out!
Whoa. That's amazing. You can control ice.
Control it? No, all I ever do is hurt people.
It's okay. Those were just the Heartless.
You said that word before. What are they?
Monsters that are after people's hearts. Wherever they go, there's trouble.
They're after people's hearts?
Yes, they're dangerous. You should head home before it gets any worse.
This is my home now. I can't go back. I don't want to hurt anyone.
What?
Arendelle is safer with me staying up here.
Not safer for you! Oh.
Please, go away!
Elsa...
Oh, don't worry. She'll be okay. Seems like she's pretty strong.
You gotta let her go. She wants to be alone.
Yeah, I hear you. But I just wanted to know why she was so sad.
And how is it any of your business?
Huh?
Read the room, kiddo.
Oh, hello, Larxene. Lovely
Who are
to have
you?
you back.
That's the organization code. You knew?
Excuse me? Oh, yeah, you forgot. The name's Larxene. This time, remember. And we'll take care of Elsa, so don't you worry.
Do you...
Nope.
Well, she seems to think she knows us, so maybe we should play along.
Not unless her name's Tara.
Excuse me, I'm right here.
Oh. Why are you after Elsa?
No one's gonna hurt her, but we're not about to put up with your meddling. Stay here and behave yourselves.
Wait, the ice!
It's going to wall us in!
Ice is so not my style.
Larxene!